Coming up on AgweekTV, the trade war with China is costing farmers money and markets, so they're hoping for a quick resolution. EPA has released the mandated biofuels blending levels under the Renewable Fuels Standard, and they're getting mixed reaction from the industry.
On the Soil Health Minute, we'll use a rainfall simulator to talk about water moving across the surface and through the soil.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The Environmental Protection Agency has released its draft rule proposing Renewable Fuels Standard or RFS levels for conventional, advanced, and cellulosic biofuels for 2019 and biodiesel for 2020. So far, the biofuels blending requirements are garnering mixed reaction from the industry. The EPA proposal boosts levels for conventional ethanol to 15 billion gallons annually. However, biofuels leaders say the increase is meaningless with EPA's illegal refinery waivers.
It's taken probably 1.5 billion gallons, it's estimated, of ethanol out of the market. That's a big deal. That's more than North Dakota and South Dakota produces. So it's affecting our bottom line.
And EPA's unwillingness to reallocate the waived volumes also erodes the RFS levels.
EPA still is required by law to reallocate those gallons. So the gallons that they waive from those small refiners have to be reallocated back to other refiners.
Plus, the blending mandate is undercut unless the administration lives up to its commitment to support year-round E15 sales.
If they initiated the action now, we could be in place for E15 use year-round starting next summer.
Biodiesel representatives were more positive as biomass-based diesel production levels for 2020 were increased by 300 million gallons.
They came out with 2.43 billion gallons, and that was an increase over the 2.1 billion gallons that we had been getting for the last couple of times.
He says the mandate provides certainty to the plants producing biodiesel and will help the industry grow.
That secures the fact that it will be used, because otherwise the companies may not choose to use them and could easily squash our small fledgling biodiesel industry.
However, the industry is not at capacity and production has been exceeding the mandate, so they continue to ask EPA for more aggressive levels. Cellulosic biofuels levels were also increased to 381 million gallons. Biofuels groups blamed EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt for granting the plant waivers behind closed doors and going against the president's wishes to dismantle the RFS. As a result, on more than one occasion, leaders suggested Pruitt should be fired. Last week, they got their wish as, amidst ethics allegations, Pruitt resigned. His deputy and former coal lobbyist Andrew Wheeler will take over as interim director. The trade war continues to escalate. Last Friday, China imposed 25% retaliatory tariffs on U.S. ag products, including corn, wheat, soybeans, and pork. This week, the Trump administration raised the stakes, saying it will slap 10% tariffs on another $200 billion of Chinese imports by August 31st. This has many farmers asking how long the trade tiff will last. Spencer Chase reports from China.
Billions of dollars in tariffs might make it harder on U.S. exporters looking to ship to China for the foreseeable future, but Ambassador Terry Branstad recently told a group of visiting Americans he believes the trade dispute can come to a quick end.
It's in their interest as well as our interest in trying to resolve it.
To do that, Branstad says the Chinese government needs to put forward its best offer.
And they say they don't want a trade war, that they want to work these things out, but so far they haven't been willing to make significant enough fundamental changes in their policies in order to achieve that. The administration is not willing to accept a few crumbs. They want to see some really fundamental change that occurs in the near future and not 3 or 5 years from now.
Branstad says President Donald Trump told him on a recent trip to Washington that he wants the dispute to come to an end. If that happens, he says the market potential for U.S. agriculture in China is huge.
I think over the next 5 years, you could see a doubling of agriculture exports to China. If we get this resolved, the potential here is great.
Reporting for AgriPulse, I'm Spencer Chase.
Soybean producers want to continue to sell to China, which has been their #1 customer for years. In fact, they'd like to expand that market, but are concerned about eroding market share amidst the trade tiff. USEC Vice Chair Monty Peterson was recently in Washington for meetings on trade, tariffs, and the Farm Bill. He says they want the China trade dispute resolved quickly.
Let's hope that in the end here, we get some better negotiated trade deals with China. It's concerning when we use tariffs, but we understand the importance of a better trade deal with China also.
Peterson hopes the issue is settled before the new crop is harvested this fall. Opioid addiction is a big and growing problem in rural America, and finding help in rural areas can be challenging. But North Dakota's Mercer County is taking steps to fight it. In February, North Dakota Senator Heidi Heitkamp held a rural addiction event in Hazen. She asked people there to come up with an integrated plan to address the problem. So Mercer County put together a group made up of law enforcement, education, and healthcare professionals. Cole County Community Health has taken the lead in fighting rural addiction, and now they're hoping to attract more federal funding for treatment. AgWeek reporter Jenny Schlecht will have a look at what's being done to combat the problem in the next AgWeek magazine. The July supply and demand report is out. We'll have details and analysis coming up next on AgweekTV.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
I'm 120, 130, 130, 55, once around the block, 212 pipe right here, now have them times up. So
if you're thinking about selling a piece of land, or you're looking to sell some farm equipment, or if you're thinking about a retirement or involved in an estate, give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way. We think it's a good way. That's how we approach it. If any of those are in your plans, give us a call or go to steffesgroup.com. Learn all about us. Hope to hear from you.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
USDA's July supply and demand report came in with higher production than last month for corn and soybeans. Ending stocks figures were down for corn and up for beans and wheat. USDA projects corn production at 14.23 billion bushels with a yield of 174 bushels per acre. New crop ending stocks were 1.55 billion bushel. That is down from June. U.S. soybean production is pegged at 4.31 billion bushel with a yield of 48.5 bushels per acre. New crop ending stocks were raised to 580 million bushels. And the agency pegged hard red winter wheat production at 657 million bushel. The spring wheat crop was lower to 584 million bushels, and ending stocks were raised to 985 million bushels. Joining us with analysis of the report is Randy Martinson. And Randy, the number that really sticks out here is the soybean number, ending stocks at 580 million bushels. That's a big one.
That's a big one. You know, and most of it came from USDA coming in and decreasing exports by close to 250 million bushels. It's showing that the tariffs are actually coming in and affecting our markets, especially in the soybean market. Now, didn't see it in the others, but primarily in the soybean market. And this is going to be a tough number for that market to overcome.
Now, we did see a little bit of an adjustment in production up because of the acreage, but yield was left unchanged?
Yield was left unchanged, which was a surprise with the conditions that we've got. But, I think it's a little early for USDA to be increasing yields. In July, they normally don't. So by August, we might see a little difference.
So do you think that will go up in the August report? Because there's so much talk about bean yields being over 50 already.
I think it will. I mean, leaving them unchanged, I think, was a little bit short-sighted by USDA. But with everything else, with the tariffs and the increase of 250, it might have been a little too much for the market to absorb to increase the yield as well. But I do think that once we get in-field observations, which will come in August, we'll see a little bit of an increase in yield.
The report for corn was actually a little friendly, wasn't it?
I think so. I mean, you look at it, yield was left unchanged, which was not expected by the trade. Yield or acres were hiked because of what we saw in the March report, but demands wasn't changed a lot. So stocks came in a little about as expected or a little lower than expected. That's friendly. And the fact that they didn't change exports was really good.
So the same question as I asked you on soybeans. A lot of talk about 180 bushel or above yields on this corn because of this high crop rating. So August, how much bigger are we?
I think we will see an increase, but I think USDA is also worried about the drownouts that have taken place, in some of the big producing areas. So I think that's kind of held them back on wanting to increase yields in this report until they can actually get out and see a little bit more observations. And with this cooler weather coming into play, that might affect the pollination a little bit, improve it, and that I think will help USDA make their decision on what they're going to do in August.
And you believe that the report was friendly for wheat?
I do. They came in for wheat. Actually, yields weren't changed that much. We did see lower production than anticipated. That, I think, was friendly. And the fact that exports were increased by 25 million, that was really friendly to the wheat market. It shows that we could get some demand from some of the other world countries that could be slipping a little bit in production this year.
But spring wheat, again, an 80% crop rating this last week. So do you not think production will continue to climb?
I do think it will increase in the next report. We'll start actually seeing actual field results because harvest will be going on by the next report, very likely. This crop is ahead of pace as far as crop development. So I think we will see some yield, actual yield results, and I think USDA will hike it a little bit.
All right, thanks for your analysis as always. Randy Martinson with today's market analysis. And for more information and our extended conversation, you can go to agweek.com. Dicamba damage is once again starting to rear its ugly head in the region. Mikkel Pates has the story coming up on AgweekTV.
And later on the Soil Health Minute, we'll run this rainfall simulator to see how water moves through soil managed in different ways.
Get your row crops off to the right start with an early riser Case IH planter from Titan Machinery. Case IH early riser planters feature high-tech yet rugged planter row units that quickly adapt to the toughest seeding conditions, while leaving an optimal seed bed to promote early, uniform plant emergence. Only Case IH early riser planters are designed to leave a flat-bottom seed furrow, ensuring consistent seed depth and even emergence. Contact your local Titan Machinery location today for more information on the next generation of planting technology from Case IH.
Intelligent farming means more crop from every acre. That starts with smart machines and precision application. Introducing the new Rogator C-Series from Challenger, featuring a newer, smarter, more precise way to apply fertilizers and nutrients, more accurately and more efficiently than ever before, resulting in less overlap and less crop damage, all to make you more productive and more profitable. To find out more, contact Butler Machinery today.
Micro Essentials is a premium phosphate product. It's a dry granular product. The main difference with a Micro Essentials type product is you have a homogeneous granule for the nitrogen, the sulfur, the phosphorus, and in this case the zinc is all in one granule. If you ever have a desire or a need to learn more about what does sulfur do within a soybean plant, what does the potassium do for the corn crop, we have microessentials.com. We also have a great resource, cropnutrition.com.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
The AgweekTV Ag Tech Minute is brought to you by Bushel.
This week we're introducing a new segment, the Ag Tech Minute. We'll be taking a look at the latest developments in technology and how they can help you operate more efficiently. Jake Jornstead, the CEO of Bushel, an ag data mobile app, tells us what to expect in the Ag Tech Minute.
Over the next few weeks and months, we'll be showing you a little bit about technology in agriculture, how it's changing, evolving, what farmers are using on the farms today, what companies are introducing to the space to help those growers do a better job, both on the farm and also throughout the supply chain in agriculture. We're going to be having interviews with farmers, going to be having interviews with those companies to share a little bit about how they're impacting agriculture with technology at the field level, technology in grain storage, technology in the agronomy side, tools you're using with your elevator, tools you're using with your retailer, and things on the equipment. The equipment on the farm is some of the best technology in the world today, and now that our equipment has the monitors we need and our phones are in our pocket, we have the power and the ability to execute on the technology aspect. Technology has evolved into a place where everybody needs to be using it on the farm, so we're here to help you understand how you can do that better. So make sure you watch for the Ag Tech Minute on AgweekTV and agweek.com.
After the widespread dicamba drift damage in the 2017 crop season, the industry went on the defensive to try to prevent a repeat in 2018. However, as Michael Pates reports, there are already some issues starting to show up in the region.
This crop here, in the last 8 to 10 days, I'll watch it shrink lower and smaller.
Stephen Miller raises wheat and soybeans near Enderlin, North Dakota and Barnes County, about 500 acres of each. He and his family debated about whether to plant soybeans with dicamba-resistant genes, just as a defensive move. Instead, they planted Roundup Ready 1 beans, and Miller vowed that he would never use dicamba.
Because it's so volatile. Well, I was just told by a farmer today it can drift up for 10 days after it's applied. Any chemical that's that volatile, I don't see how the EPA and the state allows it.
Miller strongly suspects his neighbors sprayed dicamba, but he's still trying to prove it. The wind was 9 miles an hour and his field was downwind. About 10 days later, he had significant damage that looked suspiciously like dicamba.
I'm guessing maybe 100 acres that's damaged bad.
Miller says that he had damage last year too, but thought it was a one-time event. He didn't file an official complaint then because it was fewer acres. Now it's happened again this year on more acres.
It's frustrating beyond words. I mean, I'm almost speechless.
Now he's frustrated with the North Dakota Ag Department because he's told he has to prove the day the damage was done and who did it. He's sent registered letters to the owner, the farmer, but has to notify the applicator and doesn't know who that is.
If you don't do everything just so, you have no damage, even if you have no crop, and that's not right.
Barnes County Extension Agent Randy Greenike says his county saw widespread dicamba damage last season, and he understands the difficulty of trying to prove when and how the damage was done.
They need to recognize that not only do they have to prove it, but there's no guarantee that they're going to be satisfied with what the results are.
In the meantime, Miller's watching to see how much yield is lost.
I still believe that the farmers should be responsible, for spray on target, and they should be responsible for the off-target spray as well.
Near Enderlin, North Dakota, this is Michael Pates for Ag Week.
Parts of the region got more timely rain this week, while flooded areas got some much-needed hot, dry weather. Here's your outlook for the upcoming week.
It's been a hot one across much of the lower 48, but where it has been well above average is across the portions of Europe and about 10 to 20 degrees above average. The average high for this time of year into mid-July across Europe is about into the mid to upper 70s, but temperatures have been into the mid and upper 80s, even lower 90s across portions of Europe, and that's going to continue right on through the rest of July most likely. Drought monitor, not too bad, but there are a few dry spots here and there. A little bit of a severe drought picking up just to the east of Minot, and another area of a severe drought picking up near the Aberdeen region. But overall, a much different scenario this summer compared to the 2017 summer that we had last year across much of the region. Where there is an exceptional and severe drought, though, is across portions of the southern plains and portions of the Four Corners states. But luckily, some of these areas will receive rain, and we'll talk about that just ahead. Moving on over now to your forecast for this upcoming week, July 15th through July 21st. It will be a somewhat cooler week across the Dakotas and portions of Minnesota than in the past couple of weeks, but that warm weather will continue across the eastern U.S. and across the portions of the western U.S., up across to Washington state, down towards California it will become quite toasty with temperatures likely into the 90s. Let's take a look at some precipitation chances, though. There will be some areas that will see above average precipitation chances. For our region, though, likely just small rain chances here or there for this week. Best rain chances will be across the Four Corners states and across portions of the Great Lakes and eastern U.S. Recapping this week's headlines, small rain chances this week. Temperatures near average, though, as we head out for the rest of July. But by the late portion of July and into early August, we'll see that heat building back in once again.
Big Boy Toys.
For over 40 years, Northside Implement has been your Gell and Vermeer dealer in Webster, South Dakota and Lidgerwood, North Dakota. With new equipment including feeding, grain handling, haying, and skid steer, as well as a nice selection of used equipment including sprayers, spreaders, seeding, as well as tractors and loaders. Northside Implement stands behind the equipment they sell with quality service guaranteed. See us for all your repairs and parts, from tillage to skid steer loaders to combines and everything in between. Contact Dave, Lydell, Tom, or Chris today at Northside Implement or visit our website for our complete equipment listing.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
AgWeek is excited to bring you the AgWeek app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your AgWeek news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take AgWeek with you wherever you are. Download the AgWeek app today.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
The AgWeek Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Management makes a difference for water movement into and across soils during heavy rains. On this Soil Health Minute, Abby Wick uses a rainfall simulator to show us how much water movement varies across different management approaches.
What we'll do today is use a rainfall simulator to talk about water movement into soil. So in these 4 pans, we have the same soil type, just in different managements. In the pans, we have mower plow, CRP, recently converted CRP to cropland, and 15 years of no-till. So what we'll see is how water moves across the surface in these front bins and how water moves through the soil in the bins behind it. As you can see, this is simulating a pounding rain on some of these different soil management systems. So you can see on the mower plow pan, that soil is running off the surface and it's actually quite muddy in that first jug. Underneath, there's very little water that's moving through that soil deeper into the soil profile. On the CRP, you can see that the water running off of the surface is quite clear, and a lot of that water is infiltrating through that soil, which would recharge deeper in the soil profile. In the recently converted CRP, some of that disturbance is leading to a little bit of runoff, but then also water moving through that soil and still infiltrating. On the last pan, we have wheat on a 15-year no-till soil. And you can see that the water that is running off is very clear, but most of the water is actually moving through that soil and infiltrating deeper into the soil profile. After 1 inch of water in this demonstration, you can see how the water either moves across the surface or down through the soil profile. You can catch this demonstration on the NDSU Soil Health Bus Tour, taking place July 25th and 26th out of Valley City. For more information and to get registered for the bus tour, you can go onto the NDSU Soil Health webpage.
A new survey reinforces what most in agriculture already know. Many Americans have serious concerns about GMO foods. The survey by the International Food Information Council finds nearly half of consumers avoid GMO foods at least sometimes. Almost 20% avoid them completely, and almost all of those who avoid GMOs say they do it out of health concerns. Full results of this study can be found at AgweekTV.com. Still ahead on AgweekTV, we'll see how kids are learning about farming at the Red River Valley Fair.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
AgWeek is excited to bring you the AgWeek app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your AgWeek news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take AgWeek with you wherever you are. Download the AgWeek app today.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Agriculture is a big part of every county fair, and this year the Red River Valley Fair in West Fargo is doing even more to help kids learn about farm life and where their food comes from. The Ag Education Center has expanded with activities designed to let kids do farm chores. As they go to each station, they see chicks hatching and learn about all the crops and livestock raised in the region.
Instead of letting them just kind of roam a building on their own, we thought if we had a general course of action, so to speak, where they needed to stop at each station, see, feel, touch, understand really what each product was and how food relates to it, that then they would have a better understanding of where their food is really coming from.
After they've made it around to all the displays, kids could go to the grocery store and pick out a prize. About 4,000 kids visited the display during the fair. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the AgWeek app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. See you next week.